through. We have gotten through it all, and now we are here at week 8. So this is not our last session completely, but it is our last instructional session. Our future sessions will be all about answers and strategy. So I am so excited about that. We're at adopting a giving mindset. But before we go to that, I want to talk a little bit about, again, the definition of wellness. Wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes so that instead of just surviving, you're actually thriving. And so we know we want to do that. Stair step number 1 was to spend less money. Stair step number 2 was to get more money. Stair step number 3 was to get your money back. Yes, when you have a home-based business, the IRS tells you that you can get your money back hundreds and hundreds of times, legally, ethically, and all with the permission of the IRS. Remember this, though, when you're looking at your tax deductions, you must learn the rules of the game and play the game by the rules. You don't want to start making up your own rules. You want to learn the rules of the game and play the game by the rules. Step 4 is to make your money grow. So for everybody out there who's got a little extra money, or you're trying to figure out what to do with whatever it is that you have, you certainly are in a position to make that money grow. Number 5, protect your wealth. It's time to build generational wealth with life insurance, business and key man and disability insurance, pension, long-term care, and estate planning. Number 6, own where you live. Don't pay your landlord's mortgage, pay your own. We talked about the benefits of home ownership, overcoming denials, Kitty Condo, FHA, 203K, reverse mortgage. And yes, there still are first-time home buyer programs. So if you're looking for a house for as a first-time home buyer, or if you have limited down payment, the options are still out there. We talked about maximizing your credit health. Stair step number 7 was maximize your credit health. It's better to have credit and not need it than to need it and not have it. But this brings us to stair step number 8, adopt a giving mindset. Tithe, give, stop hoarding, and purge unnecessary material things. So today should be a little bit of fun, but it should also give us a bit of motivation and inspiration so that we can take all of these stair steps and all of these rules and all of these things that we've learned and all of the homework assignments and start to put them into action. But we also want to get our hearts and our minds into action as well. So let me just talk first about emanating gratitude. Emanate gratitude. We've heard many different phrases about gratitude. We all understand that gratitude, in some sense, is thankfulness. But to me, gratitude is more than just saying thank you. Gratitude is a whole vibe. Gratitude is a whole dimension of existence. Gratitude is an energy, and gratitude gives you a synergy to grow. So the first thing I want you to know about gratitude, as we talk about stair step number 8, adopting a giving mindset, is that gratitude elevates your attitude. If you're not feeling well, I dare you to adopt gratitude. If you wake up and you feel like your circumstances aren't going where you want them to go, or your circumstances, the circumstances you're in, aren't what you want them to be, if you're constantly looking at the glass half empty, then I say to you, think about gratitude. Just start thanking God for what it is that you have. You may not have everything, but everybody has something. So do the best you can where you are with what you have right now. Your money may not be where you want it to be, but it doesn't have to stay where it used to be. Be thankful. Have gratitude that you have the opportunity to start over again. If you fall 7 times, get up 8 and have gratitude. You cannot fail until you quit. Have gratitude. Gratitude literally elevates your attitude. And every time I get an attitude about something, every time I'm upset about something, the moment I start to think about gratitude and everything that I'm thankful for, it elevates my attitude. Gratitude enhances your aptitude. Let me tell you what I mean by that. When you are in a state of helplessness and hopelessness, you are not doing your best thinking. When you are in a state of denial and anger and frustration, you are not in your best thinking. You are not in your best creative space. That business that you want to start can't grow. That business that you've already started can't expand. Your money is going to stay stagnant. Gratitude enhances your aptitude, which literally means it makes you smarter. Adopting gratitude, emanating gratitude, having gratitude, and embodying gratitude is a smart decision. It is also a wise decision. It is a better decision than staying angry. It is a better decision than staying hopeless. It is a better decision than staying beat down, burned out, and timed out. Gratitude literally enhances your aptitude. If you were to take the emotional test in a state of gratitude, you'd find that you would score in the highest 99th percentile. But if you take that test while you are feeling down and out, then you're going to score very low. So it makes you smarter. Gratitude also expands your latitude. Remember, we talked about longitude and latitude, either in science and or math, depending on where it showed up. Well, latitude is the wide expansion. That means as you have more gratitude, then your territory grows. As you have more gratitude, then your influence grows. As you have more gratitude, then you have more space to not only be a good steward over, but more space to gain and to cultivate those resources that you're thinking about. And then finally, last but not least, gratitude expedites your altitude. Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to get to the next level? Are you trying to go from step 1 to step 10? Are you trying to get a promotion on that job? Do you want your business to go from being a small business to a worldwide enterprise? Then gratitude expedites your altitude, meaning it will take you higher. It will not just take you higher spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, but you will literally be able to see the altitude, the outcomes in your life and the outcomes in your finances. So as you think about adopting a giving mindset, sometimes the first time we think is, I don't have anything to give. But if you have gratitude, you realize you do. Well, it's not time for me to give yet. Well, I'm nervous about giving, or my bills are behind. When you start to think about emanating gratitude, then it takes you entirely to the next level. The next thing I want you to do, and we're going to open this up for lots of discussion after this, because we're going to have quite a bit that we get to go through even before we get to our strategy and planning sessions. But in adopting a giving mindset, the very first thing that we want to do is avoid hoarding. As I shared, I am physically in Bali right now as I state this message. I had to come here and on a business emergency, and I did something that was so important to me that I'm going to share with you. My closet is an abomination to mankind. Let me tell you, my closet was an abomination to mankind because I traveled quite a bit. And then because I just kind of decided I didn't really want to do much. I spent a lot of days resting on a partial sabbatical and teaching my classes, but then for the most part, being able to relax. And then when I traveled, I didn't take any time to get all the things out of my closet that were blocking my view. There was stuff everywhere. I couldn't find a sock, a t-shirt, a pair of pants. I couldn't find anything. Now it was all there, but there was no order to it. And so before I got on that plane to Bali that morning, I got up, I went through the closet, and I began to remove things. Now, I'd started just a couple of weeks ago by getting rid of some of the things I'm going to talk to you about. But here's what we've got to understand. We have to avoid hoarding. And hoarding is not just what you see on television. Hoarding is not just the specials where you see the people with so much stuff in their house you can't believe it. Some of us right now are hoarding. If you think you can operate at your God-given best in excellence amidst clutter, you are mistaken. It is not possible. Sometimes we say, oh, well, this is how I work. No, that's how you learn to settle. This is how I work. No, that's what you become accustomed to. This is how it works. No, that is your comfort zone. And a comfort zone usually is uncomfortable. So take this time as you embrace wellness to get rid of stuff you don't need, stuff that's holding you back, and stuff that's sitting in places blocking new blessings. One of the things that starts to happen when you start to remove things and get things out, sometimes you'll find things that you already have that you're about to go spend money on. So as we talk about financial wellness, I'm going to go buy something new, but I already have it, but I didn't know it because I was hoarding. or it gives us the ability to see what we do have. It gives us the ability to appreciate what we do have. So once we adopt gratitude, hoarding is a very avoiding hoarding is a very natural next step, so that we can actually see what it is that we have already been blessed with, so we can find that space to give. So here are a few things you're going to keep as you adopt a giving mindset. You can keep important papers that can't be scanned. For example, mortgage and real estate papers, insurance policies, deeds, title, birth certificates, marriage licenses, all of those things that can't be scanned, and that you may not be able to keep a copy, that you may not be able to keep an electronic copy of. I have electronic copies of birth certificates and marriage license, but sometimes when you go and take care of business, you need that certified copy. So when I order one certified copy, I order 5 or 10 of them. I keep them in my little safe. And aside from that, I'm able to keep all of my real estate closing papers came via email. All of my major insurance documents came via email. All these things come via email. So unless you can scan them, uh, then you want to make sure that you can put them in a safe place. You're going to keep those important papers. You're going to also keep furniture you use now. Furniture you use now. And clothing that you can fit and that you wore within the last year. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. Let me talk about furniture you can use now. I know people with storage, and they've been storing furniture. They've been storing things for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. They've spent more on the storage than they would have spent if they had to buy the new stuff, and they don't even need any new stuff. Haven't gone to get it yet. Furniture you use now. It's very dangerous to store anything more than a year, 2 years tops. And I say, really, unless you know you're going to need it in 6 months, consider giving it away. Clothing that you can fit and that you wore within the past year. Some of us have so many, pairs of pants and dresses and trousers and shirts and shoes that we can't even remember. And some of the stuff is from 1772, 1945, 1978, 1895. We can fit the stuff, but we're never going to wear it again. So you're going to keep furniture you can use now and clothing that you can fit, that you can fit and that you wore within the past year. If you can't fit it, get rid of it. If you haven't worn it since 1988, even if you can fit it, get rid of that too. Okay, it's time for some new stuff. We're avoiding hoarding at all costs, and hoarding hides in very, very a secret, but I'm going to expose all of these secret places. So we're going to get rid of everything else, including proclamations. Okay, go on and scan that thing and put it somewhere. Invitations. You got an invitation to a birthday party, a baby shower, and a wedding. You keeping that stuff? No, take a picture of it and move on. Okay, salutations. So you're going to get rid of proclamations, invitations, salutations, greeting cards, report cards, programs, etc. All right. Now, I get my greetings cards for Mother's Day. I read them and I look at them for a day and then I get rid of them. I don't need to keep all the Mother's Day cards year after year after year. The birthday cards, I get them, I read them, I look at them, and then I get rid of them the next day. All of these things, I get rid of them because I remember finding myself trying to get my finances in order, and I was going through things, and I had 762 greeting cards. Come on now, report cards, scan those as well, programs from different events. Now, there may be some key things you want to keep, and we'll talk about those. But if you won't scrapbook it, get rid of it. If you are not going to scrapbook some of these things, get rid of it. And if you are not already a scrapbooker, don't start now. Okay. I know, and I say that because some of my clients and students say, "Well, I'm going to start scrapbooking." No, you're not. Call them in 3 months, 6 months, 6 years. They never started. They got all this stuff. No. So we're getting rid of, once again, proclamations, invitations, salutations, greeting cards, report cards, programs. If you won't scrapbook it, get rid of it. If you're not already a scrapbooker, don't start now. And if you are not a celebrity and your memorabilia has no monetary value, value that can produce generational wealth, get rid of that too. Again, if you are not a celebrity and your memorabilia has no monetary value that can produce generational wealth, get rid of that too. Now, yes, you're going to keep a few things, but only a few, because what happens is our space gets crowded, our minds get crowded, our space gets crowded, our minds get crowded, and then we are not left with the vision, the gratitude, and the ability to get to the state of financial wellness that we're aiming for. You're also going to get rid of old clothes, old shoes, old purses, old pocketbooks, old wedding dresses. I still had a wedding dress from 1995, honey. Nobody was going to wear that wedding dress in 2000 anything, all right? Bridesmaids dresses, uniforms, and all of that stuff that no one will ever wear ever again. If you want to archive it, take a picture and archive it. If you want to show your children's children, okay, take a picture and keep your pictures on a digital platform, all right, with multiple people having access to it, so you will not lose those things. We're going to avoid hoarding. Okay. I hope you all are having fun with this lesson, because I have fun every time I read it. I go through marching orders every year. But this is always something good to look at and to remind ourselves of. All right. So these are the things we're getting rid of. All right. We're going to also say no to furniture, lamps, curtains, old dishes, etc. And don't ask anyone else you know who already has stuff if they want anything. Okay. So let me explain. One of my good friends, she was getting rid of all her old stuff. Then she started bringing her stuff to me. Before I do it, I had her stuff, and now my place was crowded. I don't need any of that. All right. The answer is no. Nobody wants it. All right. Unless you're giving it to the less fortunate right now, get rid of it. If you know somebody who's moving, unless you know somebody who's moving, get rid of it. Unless you know somebody, but stop taking all that stuff over to your aunt's house or your niece's house, your daughter's house, your granddaughter's house, your grandmother's house, your goddaughter's house, your daughter-in-law. Stop taking that stuff to them and leaving that stuff with them. And every time you come over there, you ask them when they're going to use it. They're not going to use it. Okay. All right. So we're going to stop hoarding, and we're going to stop giving our hoarding to other people so that they can start hoarding. Okay. We're going to stop that. All right. I just want to go through this list again. We're going to keep important papers. We're going to keep furniture we use now and clothing you can fit now and that you wore within the past year. All right. We're going to get rid of all these old proclamations, invitations, salutations. We're going to get rid of old clothes. Let me tell you something about old clothes. If you think you're going to lose weight and fit that again, think again. Even if you do, you're going to have some more money with your new business. You can buy the clothes again. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of the big clothes. One of the reasons why I keep my weight down is because I refuse to buy anything bigger. I only have my one size. That's it. I'm not buying anything else. So when my clothes start getting tight, I start eating less or something, exercising, doing whatever I have to do. But I'm not going to go buy new sizes. So all those old sizes, all of the things that you think you're going to get into again, here's the other thing. If you go through your closet and you find something and you haven't even thought about it, you forgot you had it. You haven't even thought about it. Like, you haven't even thought about it. It has not crossed your mind. In 2 years, get rid of that too. Old shoes, purses, pocketbooks, wedding dresses, all of these things. These are the things that are blocking our new blessings. And we want to stop blocking our new blessings. Okay. We're saying no to furniture, lamps, curtains, old dishes, and we're not giving that stuff to people who don't need it. The answer is no. We got to say that to ourselves and then laugh out loud. And unless you're giving it to the less fortunate, get rid of it. All right? Start giving. I want you to start thinking about where you're going to give. You're going to give at your church for some of you. For some of you, that may be your nonprofit organization. That could be a boys and girls club. That could be a sorority. That could be a fraternity. That could be a health organization. Something that means something to you. What about your community? You want to start thinking about your community. Is there a community center? Is there a need at your local elementary school? Is there someone who may be in need in your child's classroom? Is there someone who may be in need on your block? Start thinking about ways you can allocate that 10%. The first 10% of every dollar we get, we give or tithe. And these are some of the places you can give to. Okay? So I'm very, very excited about this session. I promise not to go overboard. I don't want to beat anybody over the head. So we are going to take a look right now. You're going to take a look at the homework assignment for stair step number 8, to adopt a giving mindset. And I want you to start putting your questions in the chat. I want you to put your questions in the chat. I want you to put your aha moments in the chat. I want you to share your testimony or your question or your aha right after we go over the homework assignment. Then we'll take our break and I'll stay around for Q&A. But I promise you that this one was not going to be something that was going to go, so far that it bores you to death. But I wanted to give you some quick tips. One, I want you to identify a time to start decluttering and choose a completion date. When are you going to start? Are you going to start now and finish by Thanksgiving? Are you going to start by Thanksgiving and finish by Christmas? Are you going to start by Christmas and finish by the new year? What are you going to do? Give yourself a time to start decluttering and getting rid of some of the things that are causing you to be a bit of a hoarder, and choose a completion date. Next, I want you to identify an organization or community to give your 10%, where you will give your 10%. Okay. I want to make sure that sentence is grammatically and structurally correct. All right. For more information, visit our website at deltafoundation.net. And to get more information for free, including all of our past homework assignments, the credit responsibility checklist, you can go and visit www.lynnrichardson.org. Okay. So I want to make sure we are reminded about next week's session. It's going to be questions, answers, and strategy. Questions, answers, and strategy for the final 2 weeks. So if you've got a scenario, I'm going to try to do my very best to talk you through it and tell you how to get to the other side. And the beautiful thing about these sessions is you may hear something that may be applicable to you that you were not aware of. So that's going to be a great, great, great time. All right. Let's hear some of the aha moments. Maybe you had a moment to chuckle at yourself, or anything that you want to share. And I'm going to listen for my cue. Okay, do we have any questions, any ahas, any comments, any moments that have given you some power or a little chuckle or maybe even some concern? I am standing by waiting to hear those. Any comments? Any comments? Does anybody want to share anything? Okay, let's see if we are going to. Let me just check in with my team here just to see where we are. Okay, I do see some comments saying that it's not streaming on Facebook. So I just want to make sure we are all on the same page. And I'm waiting on a cue from my team. Okay, so we're going to start reading the comments. Awesome.
Good morning to you and good evening to everyone else. So, we have a comment that says, I've done 2 major purges for moving. Thank goodness. And I'm going to look for more to purge. Clutter free. Double exclamation point.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So happy to hear that. Yay, that always makes me happy. We never really know what an impact it's going to have on our lives. So I'm so excited to hear about that. Okay, what else we got?
I'm working on getting myself in order so that my paycheck belongs to me.
Excellent, excellent. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I
I love
started,
it.
I started decluttering on Saturday. I'm on day 6 of 30, and I have to get rid of things every day.
Woo! Okay, so you all must have been getting ready for this session. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, come on, day 6 of 30 at lynnrichardson.org. Please feel free to share your progress. I'm so excited. This is a happy, happy, happy session. What else we got?
How did you navigate these seemingly huge financial changes with your husband?
You have to act the way you want to be, and then you will soon be the way you act. And then the people around you will start to notice the changes. People around you will start to appreciate the changes. And then people around you will start to support those changes. So that's really what it was. It wasn't anything very difficult. My husband and I were both on the same page. I'm the one who really had to get in order. But for those who are trying to figure out how to get a spouse in order, one of the things that I will tell you that works every single time, and this is very, very good. This is our little secret weapon. Open your computer and watch my videos and turn your computer up loud so everyone in the house can hear. Every single time anybody has ever told me that they've done that, their spouse stops to listen, their kids stop to listen, and then they hear something because all of those videos, they're giving you all kinds of tips, everything from financial tips to, living a better life to business tips to entrepreneurial and expansion. But it first starts with you acting the way you want to be. So be the change you want to see and allow those around you to adjust and then just blast these videos all the time? That's a great question.
And how do you prioritize the 10%? If you find yourself having given way more through church, sorority, and nonprofits.
I don't prioritize the 10%. I pretty much decide who asks first or what commitment came first, and then everything else is second or third. So I do tithe, and for me, that is separate than the giving that I do for my other organizations. I take some money out of my 30%, or I may take some money out of my 50%, but my 10% goes for me towards my church. I'm a pastor at California Worship Center, and I tithe my 10% faithfully and automatically. So that there's no question about that. And then everything else comes after that. Great question. Great, great question. Do we
Sorry
have
about that.
any more? Oh,
Yes, I was
mhm.
on mute. I apologize. Made 3 phase cluttering mission. Already completed 2, one more to go. And I also give to a nonprofit ETQW International Inc.
I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see some of you have already started this homework, and I'm so happy to hear it. So happy to hear it. Really, really want to hear your aha moments, your questions. Did anything make you laugh? Did anything make you cry? Looking forward to hearing those. Thank you so much for that comment. That was great.
Should we get a tax deduction for donating?
You want to speak to your tax preparer about your tax deductions for donating. You definitely want to speak to your tax preparer about that.
I already give to church and a couple of charities.
That is amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations on giving. Giving in
Ye-
gratitude. I love it.
Yes, looking at my calendar to set a date to declutter.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Excellent, excellent.
This is the stage I am in right now. Already started decluttering. Hopefully, I'll be organized by the new year.
Yes. I love these testimonials. I love these testimonials. Yes, yes, yes.
This was right on time for me because I just looked at my house and said this weekend to my son and I are going to purge.
Yes. I love it. I love it. And turn on some James Brown and some Aretha Franklin or some Luther Vandross or some old school music or some old school hip hop, or do that while you purge. It always makes me feel good.
I've been saying I was going to purge my closet for the last few months. This is confirmation. It's time. Setting an end date will help.
Yes, excellent, excellent. I'm so glad I motivated somebody. I refuse to come to Bali, where this is the land of wellness, and get all of this wonderful, beautiful energy and then come back home to a cluttered closet. I just couldn't do it. And for those of you who are trying to figure out the motivation to start, maybe you can look at that. Do you want to come back to the same thing that you've been looking at after you go and give yourself a treat or you have a unique experience? So, yes, yes.
Praise report. My mortgage balance is under 10,000 and I am set to complete by April or May 2024 debt free.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Wow, what an amazing accomplishment. Yes, yes, yes. I love, and this is gratitude is the state of hearing other people's good news and celebrating it with them. So take some time every class or every transaction or every task doesn't have to be filled with things that you check off. Some of the things that we check off and what we're doing right now is just appreciating ourselves, appreciating each other, and being aware of what gratitude actually feels like as we move towards wellness. So, thank you all for this time. Thank you. What else we got?
I have already started purging, but haven't set a date to finish. So I will do that so I can clear my space for a better tomorrow.
Yes, yes, yes. Exciting, exciting. Yes.
So much,
Congratulations.
so much great information over the last 8 weeks that I have passed on to people who need it and moving my money tomorrow to she says, HYSA, high yield savings account.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy that you're sharing this with others.
I've been intentionally taking action on how to stop buying what I don't need. Need and
Woo!
want Needs and wants are two different words.
Yes, two different words and two different things. Yes, and that credit responsibility checklist goes over needs versus wants and when we use credit for each. So, this is very good. Thank you for sharing that.
Any suggestions on decluttering older files from a previous job?
I would suggest that you get boxes and do what you can to uh, scan whatever you possibly can scan and save those items on Dropbox and try very hard to get rid of the rest. And whatever you can't, get some boxes from one of your favorite office stores, label them, and try to stack them up in a corner that does not contribute to any cluttering. Thank you for that question.
Already began decluttering. Tied to my church already. Life shift for my family illness, which has led to new streams of income, parenthesis clean break, and to be debt free will be done by December 31st, 2023.
Yes, I love it. I like all of the steps. I like the ability to focus on multiple things, and we will be standing with you for your completion date. Thank you. Thank you.
I knew that I had a problem with shopping when I realized that I bought an item I already owned.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the where the decluttering comes in and avoiding, adopting a giving mindset and avoiding hoarding. Yes.
I have helped others. One person paid off 5 credit cards in less than 1 year. I taught her how to make a budget and I set up a play, stay, and pay account. Each one helped one. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, are we done?
No, that was the comment.
Oh,
That they
okay. I
felt
was
that.
like, wait a minute. The tone changed there. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoever, we're gonna name that person. Okay, I'm done. We are done with you. Yes, yes, yes. I got confused there for a minute. I was like,
Yeah,
wait a
sorry
minute.
about that.
Is
That was
it time to
the
go?
comment. Yep. Okay, so then I lost the comment. Where did it go? Okay. I can't say who it was. All righty. So we're gonna go back. Hold on one second. And taking action. Okay. I lost my place. Hold on one second. Aha moment. You cannot operate from excellence in the midst of clutter. I am at work and my desk is cluttered, and yet I expect excellence. I am clearing my desk.
I
That
love
was
it.
the
I love it. I love it.
funny thing about passing on hoarding. I started with jewelry. The to go box looks like the box of jewelry a friend gave me a few years ago, and I don't even wear any of that stuff. LOL.
Wow. Let me tell you. Woo, some of the things that I have gotten my hands on and then gotten rid of. I'm like, why did I have this around here crowding my whole brain all this time? Jesus, help me.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that comment.
I give to Autism Speaks annually and a few other organizations depending on the mission as they come through.
Congratulations. Thank you for your support of that important organization and that important wellness area.
And if one has no family, this is a question, I guess. Let me see. If one has no family, one can consider donating, giving to an organization like DREF in their estate planning.
Absolutely. Or to anything that you have that you deem important. Every single one of us was put here in order to be of goodness and of service to someone else. So even if you don't have any relatives at all, what in the world matters to you? What in this life matters to you? Is it homeless people? Is it children who need um, food? Is it people going to school? Find a way to use the life that God has blessed you with to be in gratitude and adopt a giving mindset and share some of that with someone else.
Struggling to get rid of my old magazines. Jet, Black Women, Heart and Soul, woo. Black Enterprise, Ebony Essence, limited editions, and no longer in print. Can I donate the magazines to a HBCU?
Please contact an HBCU to find out. Contact an African American History Department or something to that effect to see who would receive your very special collection. I think we are probably at the end of our time and should be ready for our break and our announcements.
Good evening, everybody. This is Barbara Mosley Davis again, sitting in for Dr. Rogers. Dr. Rogers is off doing some other Delta stuff. And I want to thank Dr. Richardson for just giving us a mindset about getting rid of stuff so that you can have an abundance to give to others. And so tonight, as I give the prizes for the on-air prizes, I want to remind you that we will be putting a link in the chat for you to answer the survey because we will be selecting additional winners off air. And so last week you were gracious enough to do that. And so we will do that again tonight. We will probably do it again the next 2 weeks. And so we want you to answer the questions from the link. But tonight, what I will also do is now begin to give the names of people who we're going to give some prizes to. And because Sheila McKeithen is on all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, she will get our $50 e-gift certificate. But I also want to give some of the literature that we give away each week that is applicable to the subject that we're talking about. I think it might be a little bit different from what Dr. Lynn Richardson was talking about. The book that we're going to give away is Given Without Taking. And so we will be ordering that from Amazon to send to you. But what you will have to do is make sure that you send your contact information to Financial Health and Wellness, FHWP, at deltafoundation.net, because we don't know who Precious, if you use a screen name that is not your real name. So please make sure that you send your information to FHWP at deltafoundation.net. We need to know your name, address, and your email address. And you can include your cell phone number as well. But the other prizes will go to Vivian Ward. She says she's paying off, she has taken the strategy to pay her mortgage twice a month. We also want to give to Lois Thompson. You will also get a book. Marsha Witherspoon and Mary Meek, Meek. She's going to adopt a strategy of boosting investing. Cynthia Burrows as well will get the book. And Anitra Cole will also get the book. I think Anitra has gotten her husband involved in what we're doing. I think she said her husband is asking her, is she doing or following the strategies that she's learning on this webinar? So look for those prizes. They might not come when you expect them because DREF has a small staff. The office manager has been off for a couple of days. And we have been giving her a lot of work to do because last week we selected 50 names to send the e-gift cards to. So I hear you loud and clear that some folks have not gotten their prizes, but rest assured before this program is over in the next couple of weeks, we will be on track of trying to get those prizes to you. But tonight we want to say thank you for listening. But I also enjoyed what you were saying about decluttering. I said, and that can be a gift that you can give to someone else. But as we are coming up on Thanksgiving, and usually the Tuesday after Thanksgiving is called Giving Tuesday, because Delta Sigma Theta Delta Research and Education Foundation is a 501c3. We offer to you the opportunity to give back to DREF as well. We were fortunate enough to get this grant from the Toyota Foundation, who made it possible for us to expend their dollars to help give you this information so that you can get more dollars. So consider putting Delta Research and Education Foundation on your list of givers, of recipients of your gift. So with that, I will say thank you. We'll come back a little bit later on and say thank you again as Dr. Lynn Richardson winds up this session, and then I can come back and say good night and follow up with any other closing comments. But the SurveyMonkey link is in the chat, so please, by all means, to include that in your work that you have to do before you finish tonight, so that we can do some work on selecting 50 more winners to have a blessing as a result of this funds that received from the Toyota Foundation. So I'm going to close down and now turn it back over to Dr. Richardson so she can answer some additional questions.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so appreciative that adopting a giving mindset provided something of value, whether it's one thing or all of it or one little trigger. You never know what trigger is going to catapult you into your next level. You never know what trigger is going to catapult you into your next business or idea or creative thought. You never know when you're going to collide into your blessing. And so this is a very important, it's the one thing that we can miss. But I'm so thankful that we are not missing it here. Are there any more questions? I want to make sure our moderator is still in the platform. She was somehow kicked out, or do we have a new moderator? And do we have any questions?
Yes, thank you. There are a couple other things that did come through while we were listening to um, Sora Mosley. So perhaps you should have another session. What should we keep as far as important IRS important papers for record keeping? Uh,
Okay, that's an excellent suggestion to give to the organizers. I think that it was a statement that perhaps I should have another session. Is that what the statement was? It didn't seem like a question.
it said, what should we keep as far as important IRS papers for record keeping?
So in terms of record keeping, you definitely want to talk to your tax preparer because those criteria change on a regular basis. You may also want to Google what IRS records to keep and how long. Because depending on whether you owe taxes, you don't owe taxes, an audit or not an audit, and because I do not have a slide prepared to specifically address and answer that question in its entirety with clarity, I don't want to mislead anyone. I don't want anyone to say, well, Lynn said only 2 years or 5 years. So you want to either speak to your tax preparer or you want to Google, how long should I keep my tax records? You may also submit that question at lynnrichardson.org.
I have a binder of all of my important papers, insurance policies, bank accounts, savings account information, etc. I want to make sure it is easy for my family to find in the event something happens to me.
Was that a question or a statement?
No, that was another statement when you were
Okay,
speaking
excellent.
about it. Yeah. Here's one you're like, I stopped buying purses that I didn't need about 3 years ago, and I saved a lot of money.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
And then there another comment is, this motivates me to throw away old papers. Thanks. A couple more comments. I currently tied to my church and also give to nonprofits that support health, education, Habitat for Humanity, community, and social service programs. I contribute to DREF via the annual CFC campaign, a great organization to donate to. And that will conclude the comments for tonight, Dr. Lynn.
Okay, okay. Um, it looks like we have an early departure today. We get a little bit of time back, and this was very intentional. This was extremely intentional because I actually want you to go take this time now and go and choose something to declutter, something to remove. Look at that desk, look at those papers. Go take a look at your nightstand. Maybe sit down, write a list, or open your journal and start to think about what you are grateful for. Where can you have more gratitude? I'd really, really like you to do that with this specific time that we have left for this particular session. We would normally get out at half after the hour, and right now we are 10 minutes before the hour. So as soon as our beautiful hostess closes us out, I want you to go on and either start journaling, start decluttering, and or work on that homework assignment. Thank you all so much.
Thank you again, Dr. Richardson. I just want to also repeat again, because I don't think the text team had a chance to get all of the names that I had prepared. These people are the on-air winners tonight: Vivian Ward, Lois Thompson, Marsha Witherspoon, Mary Meeks, Cynthia Burrows, Anitra Cole, and Sheila McKeithen from Jamaica. Those are our on the air winners. Also, I want to say, because we want to help prepare for next week's discussion and the weeks to follow, in the notice that you received today about the reminder for today, we asked you to, any questions that you think about during the course of the week, put them, send them also to the same email address, but in the subject line, put Q&A, so that we will know that you want those questions to be raised either next week or the week after, or to help Dr. Richardson to begin to look at some of the questions that you may have in advance. So please get them into our email address at fhwp@deltafoundation.net. Put in the subject line Q&A, so that we can begin to collect the questions that you might have on your mind. Not that you won't have an opportunity next week to ask questions, but we just want to get a head start on the questions that you have. You might think of it during the week as you're doing some of these strategies. Something may come up that you might need some additional clarity on, and Dr. Richardson will be able to answer those questions for us. So with that, I will say good night, and also say, remember DREF, because DREF gives back to the community all over these United States of the funds, that unrestricted funds that are given to them. Tonight's presentation is funded by the Toyota Foundation, but unrestricted funds, the organization can decide what kinds of programs that they want to underwrite, as well as the things that are underwritten by our funders. So with that, I will say good night, and I will see you next week. And next week we will also pick another 50 off the air winners. So make sure you come back next week to see what is in store for us, in talking to Dr. Lynn when she answers your questions and give you some additional strategies to deal with. So with that, I will say good night for Carla Green, who is the Executive Director of the Delta Research and Education, and Dr. Antoinette Rogers, who is over the Director of Programs. Thank you and good night. Thank you, Dr. Richardson and your team. Thank you, the tech team, for carrying us through another week of wonderful information. Thank you and good night.